Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 568 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, back with the regular crew, joined as always by Ben Funky Askren and one Stephen Kyle Brackey. It's a chilly day and rainy day here in Austin, Texas. I don't know how the weather is.
Oh my God, you wimps! That means it's like 67 degrees.
No, dude,
No.
It was 39 this morning.
Yep.
Oh, real talk.
I'm looking up.
Real
you guys
tea,
are
bro.
lying.
Check it out. It's nasty. I have rain boots
there's
on.
global cooling coming. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, I've been reading about that since the
No, you
Al Gore
haven't.
Al Gore film came out.
Global cooling. Oh,
Ben,
it is 41. Not good, man. But listen, I'll give you good news. 70 and sunny this weekend, Christian. You guys are having an outstanding weekend in Austin.
We're
Texas.
getting the bad weather out of the way so that when the 8-man crew roll up, we're going to have nothing but nice sunny weather, and that will be their memories of Austin, Texas. Ben, are you back out? Are you we'd like to give at least a once a week hip update. It sounds like you're back outdoors working. What's going on?
Yeah. It's outstanding. I just told you guys I got a dumpster. There's a bunch of old fence, and old fence is hard to throw away. So I got a dumpster, thrown it all away. It's fantastic. It was really enjoyable to be outside and doing stuff yesterday.
When's the last time you got to grind a good stump?
Well, I didn't grind stumps yesterday. I did some fence cutting, and then I did. You know what? I got excited. I got the brush cutter out. I started sawing some buckthorns. Buckthorns are like that's like the devil's work right there. Do you guys know what those are in Texas or Virginia?
Well, I know what thorns are. I don't know what makes them buckthorns. Yeah, buckthorn.
No, buckthorn is a type of tree. It's a really nasty, gnarly tree. Yeah, super invasive.
Wow. Okay, got it. I googled buckthorn and didn't come up with anything.
So when do the guys get to Texas?
I think tomorrow. Normally they get there 2 days before. Some may have restrictions, but they will definitely all be here Friday. And because we have the press conference and everything going on, so it's about to get real. It's about to happen. Pretty freaking excited.
Are you guys at the same venue as you have been the last couple times?
Yeah, we'll be there this time, and then I can't remember. Is November 14th the one in Round Rock, or is that the December one?
I have no idea.
I think the
Why
November
are you
14th.
moving
Well, venue availability.
it?
The place we're having it had I forget some Texas football thing actually. In one of them, and then so we're gonna have one in Round Rock, which is actually a little closer to my crib, and then some other stuff coming. Man, there's gonna be an event in early December, and it's Ben doesn't know about it yet. It's
a wrestling event.
Oh yeah, big
On Flow.
Huge.
Miles, why are you holding information from me?
Well, I can't listen. The best I can do is say that. Maybe it would have been better to say nothing at all. But I just wanted to mention that's coming. But it's not gonna be in Austin.
I can't believe you. Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this,
Okay.
because this made me think of this, and this will be fun to talk about with you guys. But obviously, 2 high school associations canceled wrestling yesterday for their winter season. I believe Illinois being one of them. Do you guys think we're going to see some opportunities pop up for high school kids to do something else? Because obviously there's opportunity right now. There's Super 32, preseason nationals. But in the winter season, usually there is zero outside of high school opportunities for high school kids. Do you guys think something's going to pop up? Or what do you guys think is going to happen?
I think it would be wise of someone like a Super 32. I don't know if they would ever want to do something like that again. But there's going to be a need and a desire for these guys to wrestle in these major state. I mean, I think would be tremendous value in them having those tournaments. Which 2 state associations again?
Well, Illinois was one, and I think Virginia Private maybe was the other one.
Really?
They canceled yesterday. Yeah, but then obviously Wisconsin and Michigan have said now you have to do everything, practice and compete with a mask on, which I just can't foresee how that is going to work. I don't think it's going to work.
So I actually was thinking about that. You know those I forget what they're called, but if you had a guy that has like a broken nose, they wear that monstrosity over their face, the mask.
Yeah.
If you go that mask and then you go a mask under that mask, theoretically your mask would not be. You got to double mask it, but if you did that, I guess you wouldn't. Because how else does the mask on your face not get completely destroyed? I know you don't teach
That's what I'm
cross faces,
saying.
but some people still do them. They haven't been prohibited in wrestling.
Max loves the crossface.
What is up
No,
with
I
you
don't.
two?
No,
You guys cannot get on the same
no,
page.
hold on. I don't like. We both don't like crossfaces as a defensive shot tactic, right? You
Okay.
shoot on us, we crossface you. We both don't like that. Now, like, yeah, I got you bellied out. Maybe I need to crossface you to finish the go behind. Or if I'm on top, obviously we got crossface cradle, barbed wire,
Bundle,
Turk
yeah.
position. We have we have a lot of moves from there. So Max, his kind of go to for his academy kids is usually crossface, and then they go to other stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not defensively, not as a defensive tactic.
All right, y'all are aligned.
What did you think of his interview when he said your mouth gets him in trouble sometimes?
He ain't all the way wrong. It's so funny. I mean, he mentioned that like it's really funny what these high school kids will hold against you sometimes. And listen, I say a lot of crazy shit all the time, and I just throw stuff out there. Some stuff I don't even mean it, right? I just say it just because why not? I want to push the button sometimes. But there's one, and man, he said in an interview, and I cannot remember which kid it was because a few years back. But this one kid who was like a good kid, and we pretty much have all the good kids in our area except a couple. Well, now we have all of them pretty much. But this kid finally came in after like 3 years of not coming by us, and he said, and Max said, hey, why didn't you come by us earlier or something to that effect? And he was like, well, Ben said he didn't like Tony Ramos, and we're like, what on God's green earth? We don't live in Iowa. Like, what does it have any relevance? Do I have to like the same wrestlers as you for you to train by us? It's so weird,
That's what I would base it
on.
But
another guy one time said he was mad at me because I said Seth Gross was going to beat Roman Bravo Young, and he liked Roman Bravo Young, and I'm like, what? So what? Like, what? Yeah. So high school kids are funny, and you'll say stuff that you don't even think about, and then they'll hold it against you, and you won't even think about it too much.
That's funny. Well, I mean, on the one hand, you do say a lot of wild stuff. On the other hand, picking a wrestler to win a match I would not file that under the Ben Askren being a wild man column.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of feel for you guys because I know this to be true, and that wasn't even the athlete thinking that. That was an athlete's fan thinking that, right? So then you guys, well, now it's me, right? Because I'm on the show also, but you guys very regularly have had to pick athletes because you always do pretty much leading up to every tournament. You say, okay, in this tournament, which we're probably going to do today, a 190-pound tournament, who are we picking to win? Listen, we're going to pick one guy to win. That means we're picking 7 guys not to win. Are those 7 guys going to hold it against us?
Michael Jordan would. That's for sure.
He
might make it up.
Yeah. What'd you say?
We might even pick him, and then he'll say like, "Yeah, but you were thinking about not picking."
Yeah,
me.
But you didn't think I'd win that big,
effect.
did you? Freaking
yeah,
Jordan.
Something like that.
So I think one of the most interesting, as we transition to the 8-man, probably the match of most interest in the early rounds, maybe it's a matter of opinion. It's probably Nate Jackson versus Sammy Brooks, right? This is a match we've seen on. They've wrestled like 5 times. Brecky did the deep dive.
3 times in college and 3 times post.
Okay.
So 6.
6.
So, Brecky, I looked at that. Did they in college? I always thought Nate Jackson was a permanent 74, and I thought Sammy Brooks was always an 84. Which was where? What did I miss?
They're also 84.
Yeah.
So how many years was Nate Jackson up at 84?
I think just his last year. Yeah, all their matches came in 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah. Interestingly, I hardly remember him up at 84. Also, I remember at 74, he beat Bo Nickel.
He beat Bo Nickel, yeah.
Weird. I remember he gave him a really close match at NCAAs, and I have just very little memory of.
It was just his senior year. He wrestled up at 84.
How'd he do at NCAAs?
He was 8th.
Okay. It was really tough that year at 84. So
did he place
deck out in Sun Victory?
Yeah, he placed at 74.
And then TJ Dudley and Drew Foster, actually.
Wait.
Okay.
Nate Jackson lost to Drew Foster at the NCAAs?
Did.
Really?
Yeah, 11-7.
So Drew Foster took 7th that year?
I don't know, because they're not in like. I was looking at WrestleStat and they're not in order.
Oh, WrestleStat. Got it. Okay.
So
cool.
that would have been
But the lifetime, Nate's beaten him once,
Drew
right?
Foster took 7th that year.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So he's only beat him one time.
Sammy, it's 5-1 in favor of Sammy, but twice, and we're gonna get into that in a minute. Twice he's been 1 point away from tech falling Sammy.
So who do you think is
crazy.
more annoyed about getting the first round matchup? Is Sammy more like, geez, the last 2 times we've wrestled, he's almost teched me, or is it Nate Jackson like, oh my gosh, this is a guy that's teched me twice when I've been at 1 point? Who is more annoyed that they have to wrestle them in round 1 here?
So, did you guys watch the December match from last year? When I watched it, and then obviously I just watched Nate Jackson at the U.S. Open in October, that's only 10 months apart, or maybe 11, okay?
Yeah.
And Nate Jackson looked like he filled out, like he got a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why when I watched the match from last December, I'm like, damn, he looks kind of skinny. And it feels like he filled out into the weight class. Maybe that's just my eyes deceiving me. But yeah, to your point, he gets up 9-0. I think he gets 4 takedowns in a row, or maybe one of them was a push out, and I think he got a turn also. And it looked almost as every shot he was taking was unstoppable, right? And then all of a sudden, Sammy Brooks gets on top, and just Nate Jackson couldn't stop the gut. I mean, so that's a problem Nate Jackson has to address, not only against Sammy Brooks, but Gabe Dean's got a pretty good gut if he gets on top of you. I don't think Gavin's got a great gut.
I thought he did. I thought he did have a pretty solid gut wrench, but I could be misremembering.
Okay. And then Drew Foster was gutting some dudes at the senior nationals also. So if Drew makes it past Miles, that could be an issue as well.
Yeah, I had the video of Nate and Sammy scrapping. They're kind of their two meetings that are of, I guess, their most recent meetings and their most interesting ones. And is it the one from the U.S. Open, or I guess we'll call it, the actual U.S. Open in Las Vegas is more, it was a pretty evident, like, he ran out of gas type of thing. Whereas I didn't really feel that was necessarily the case in their most recent meeting.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, if you're coaching Nate Jackson, if I was coaching him, it's like, dude, finish this thing off. You're so close. Just freaking keep blasting. You got him. Like, I mean, and then Sammy, it's like, I feel like he should be able to, and maybe I'm wrong, but he should be able to make some adjustments to slow down the points early on in the match. But who knows, right? Who knows who's going to make that adjustment?
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question. I asked a question. Who's more annoyed by having this be their first match? Imagine you're Sammy Brooks. Imagine you're Nate Jackson.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna say I saw. And this is
look at a cram right off the whistle.
Whoa, pause that.
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like Nate Jackson has a lot of momentum since he just had that really good performance at Senior Nationals where he lost to Gabe 1-1 in the finals. I have not seen Sammy Brooks in quite a while. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Nate Jackson. I feel like he looks really good at Senior Nationals. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you have to, when you're making picks, and the thing about, not only was he 9 points away, but in this one and his other one, he was so close to, on the final sequence, scoring. You're gonna see this double here that he shoots. What?
Yeah, watch this. This isn't even that good, and then he just kind of just like goes through. You know, this right here. Do you see that?
Yeah, and that was so close to being a 4 potentially. You know, he had him lifted on that double. It could have been, he's close on this lace.
Yeah, but that shot specifically, Christian, and when I say like it felt like he was unstoppable, it's like that wasn't even a really very good shot. It got stopped, and he just kind of kept hustling through the position. Like Sammy Brooks just couldn't even stop him. You know. And then he does get to the leg twice more, and he doesn't finish. Where it's like, man, if he goes retrospect, like I know life or death, I need to finish this shot. Man, I think there's a good chance he finishes it.
Yeah, but I think in your mind, how many times is Nate Jackson going to be like, I'm up 9-0. This is life or death, right? It's
like, that's how he needs to think.
Well, I think perhaps that's true, but at the same time, that's a tough place to get mentally. I would imagine, right?
Well, you figured it out, Jack.
Well, okay. A little bit simplistic maybe. But yeah, I mean, he does get in, but this is maybe the first sign when he gets shot and he's kind of gets run behind here of problems.
And this is where he gives up all those guts.
Yeah.
And the gut wrench defense is that's not necessarily it's not necessarily like a gassed out I can't defend. It's to me this looks like a technical issue. He's not arms aren't wide, hips aren't moving really that well. And this obviously is something if he's really training to make the 2021 team that he should have been addressing or should be addressing because he is younger. I mean, he graduated college 2018,
2017.
2017. So he's 2 years out by this point. Yeah, I mean, he really should be addressing that gut wrench defense because Sammy Brooks turned him really, really easy there.
Brooks has one of the better guts at 86. I think he's turned a lot of dudes with it. I think that's how he beat Aaron Brooks, actually, who was able to gut him. Aaron's pretty solid parterre guy, albeit very young. But yeah, that obviously was he got, how many guts did he get then? He got the takedown and 6 guts to get 12-10. That's
12.
like,
yep,
that's wild. So really, that's one of the big
Hey.
differences. And then he has a hard time holding center against Sammy. I think I'm with you, though. I think, right, this happened. But if you look at what's more correctable, it would seem like that. But there could be is there a potential, I don't want to say a mental block, but is it in your head a little bit like this guy is going to keep coming? It's going to be a big problem.
I mean that's where you get to watch the other match.
Yeah.
That's where, and so it'll be interesting to see if Sammy Brooks changes his initial. So we're watching that match from the earlier U.S. Open. If he changes his approach and is able to shut him down a little more in the early going. But if you're Nate Jackson, this is a thing where it's probably not just this match. Obviously, he's got some really explosive stuff in the beginning matches, and as this shows, he's not as great later. But this is where you just have to keep pushing through that zone and realize you're going to get tired. You're going to get to that point, and you're just going to keep blasting because he is dangerous from his leg attacks. He's really good. He finishes hard, and he scores a lot of points fast. And that was, I mean, I think if we look at the U.S. Open, what do we call? There's too many U.S. Opens. We're getting confused because
well, the Fort Worth one was Senior Nationals.
Senior Nationals.
And
what was the one that just happened? What was the one that just
Senior
happened?
It was also called Senior Nationals.
Okay, see, that's confusing. So I'm gonna go look at the bracket, but I think he finished all of his match. I remember I was watching the Parker Kick.
So look how close the lace is going right now, Ben. Look how close he is. He's at 6-1 here. He's got it tight. Knees are together. 8-1. Or 10-1. And then he couldn't quite get that last one over.
Close. But that's again where you go, listen, this is life or death. Life or death. Can you finish this? And I think the answer is probably yeah. Right.
What was interesting is earlier this tournament, Brooks texted Jackson. Straight 10-0, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then Nate comes back and he really responds and he gets up 10-1. And then we could tell for whatever reason, we were like all on the table. This was right in front of the press table.
It was right in front of the press row where we were sitting and we were watching this match. And as it went to break, I think it's 10-2. But we were like, Sammy Brooks is in this match because I don't know if he had a bad weight cut that morning or something, but you could tell Nate Jackson was really tired.
Super tired.
What, man? So I feel like, is he that big for the weight class? Because that I guess that could be a factor also that I wasn't really thinking about.
Or opposite, it could be small, and he's carrying all the weight of a bigger guy in Brooks. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah,
because you're looking at a lot of these points, he's struggling to stay in.
Yeah, I feel like he looks a little thicker in the most recent Senior National that the one he just wrestled in October. He feels like he filled out a little bit.
Well, it's interesting. If they're in ties. Control ties, that's where Brooks is going to be, and he's going to win the match. If Nate can keep it from space, he's going to win the match. So it's really going to be pretty simple.
Yeah. So in the most recent Senior Nationals, he goes this is pretty amazing. Tech fall in 15 seconds. Tech fall 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Tech fall 1 minute and 10 seconds, and then the last two were decisions. He wins 7-4 over Drew Foster. Where in that one he didn't, right? It was 4-3 after the first period, and then he wins 7-4. So no gas tank issues at all in that match. But yeah, I just feel like if I'm Nate Jackson's coach, I'm just keep the pedal to the metal. Like, let's just blow it all the way out. I think he can get 10 points on Sammy Brooks. I think especially if he really tries extra hard to keep clearing ties and making Sammy Brooks bridge that gap, that's he can keep scoring there.
Yeah, I just have a hard time seeing these matches materialize the way they had with him and him not making the adjustments. So while Brooks is obviously really good, and Brooks, the bottom half of this bracket, I don't know if we want to pull it up again, but I think it's really interesting because, well, while Martin and Foster hit at, I think it was World Team Trials in 2019 in Raleigh.
Yep.
If you want to take a look at the bracket here. So those two hit. If you look at the bottom part, it's Miles Martin, Drew Foster, and Miles 10-0'd him.
Yes.
Looked really strong. So you have to favor. But then on the other hand, Drew Foster's really made a lot of adjustments and looked a lot better recently. But you have to assume.
I was really impressed with Drew Foster at the most recent Senior Nationals. He said, we talked about this when it happened. I was really impressed. And then I was shocked that he lost to Trent Hidley in the third place match. But prior to that, he looked outstanding. Right.
So Foster is a guy, talk about a late bloomer. This guy is basically not recruited out of high school. He was between UNI and a D3 school and was like, really, what am I going to do? Am I a D1 wrestler, whatever kind of thing? And then obviously he was that and then some, and he wins NCAAs as a senior. And then it's still like, for UNI, it's like Lujan was kind of the guy. He was kind of the face of the program. He was the most, but then they are both in the same way, and that Foster has continued to be kind of the better guy in freestyle is also, I guess it can't be a surprise anymore. The dude won NCAAs, but he continues to evolve and improve at UNI. So how much better has he gotten from the Raleigh match to now? I don't know if it's going to be enough to take out Miles Martin, who, I feel like there's some recency stuff with his David Taylor match that I just completely discount.
I did not. That was not pretty for Miles. What if Miles is doing the same thing?
What do you mean?
What if he's training the same way? Well, to me, listen, and I wasn't there, so I don't know, but it sure appeared to me that Miles wasn't training that hard for that match. He did not show up ready to wrestle. That was as good as David Taylor is. That was a clinic to the utmost. So I hope he's put in a little more time for this match.
Man, I interpreted it a little bit differently. One, he took the match on like 10-day notice, something like that. Okay.
Two, so that would go to my point that he probably wasn't training.
Right. Well, probably. Listen, in 10 days, you're like, wow, I'm wrestling David Taylor. You're not going to be able to. I'm sure it wasn't the best version of Miles Martin, but he's known about this date for a while. And I'm sure he's going to have trained really hard like he always has his entire career. And one. Two, he was wrestling David Taylor, who tends to make people look ridiculous.
But that was extra ridiculous. Triple ridiculous.
Triple ridiculous? Sounds like one of your ice cream orders, Ben. A triple ridiculous.
I wonder if Ben & Jerry's has that flavor. I bet it's delicious.
Look into it.
Although they're damn near socialists, so I have a hard time supporting their cause.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
But they do make delicious ice cream.
Listen,
Christian. Listen, we don't have to talk about political leanings on this podcast, but we can say we don't like socialism. We appreciate the capitalism that the good US&A brings us.
It would seem like they're a pretty they rely on capitalism to exist. So I would have a hard time.
They should appreciate it.
I don't look into the politics of most of the ice cream I buy. Like if Breyers is conservative, I wouldn't know that. But I know their vanilla ice cream.
Well, Chick-fil-A, for example, they get a bunch of crap for being conservative because they're not open on Sundays.
Yes.
People want to boycott them, but they make delicious chicken sandwiches.
They all boycott them on Sundays. Listen, no one boycotts Chick-fil-A around here. You can't even between like 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. If you want. You need to carve out an hour to sit in that drive-through.
What are you talking about? Thing's the most
No, their
efficient thing in the
drive-thru goes
world.
fast.
Oh, it takes.
Yeah,
they're
No,
so
I don't even bother.
They're
You're an
so
insane
efficient.
person. It takes longer to get Popeyes when there's no one in
Yes.
line.
Yes.
and
Seriously, Chick-fil-A,
Popeyes is
tell 'em,
rigging the
Bracky.
system. Popeyes is rigging the system. Listen to this.
What do you mean? He's been sitting on a Popeyes bomb for
I went into Popeyes a few weeks ago, and I pull up, I pay, and they give me like my drinks, and they're like, "Can you go ahead and pull up a little bit, sir, and we'll have your food out to you in a few minutes." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I pull up. There was another car waiting too, so I pull up like as close as I can to that car, and a guy comes out like a minute later, and he's like, "Hey man, could you pull in one of the spots? Just pull in one of the parking spots."
Oh,
he's like,
man.
he's like, we get timed with every customer we have come through the drive-through, and he's like, "You're technically still on like the sensor thing right now, and the clock's still running, and we're trying to get our average up." And I was like, "You haven't even given me my food yet. It still should be running."
Well, why did you comply?
Because
You
would
would've-
be a jerk.
Think how much faster you would
He
have
didn't
gotten
want
your
to,
food.
they were going to spit in his food. If he
Yeah,
didn't
it's true.
comply, they were going to spit in his food.
If the only thing stopping,
They're juicing the stats.
if I ran Popeyes, which one day I will, the
Okay.
first thing I would do is get the Chick-fil-A customer service,
Yeah.
and I'm poaching him. Whatever it takes, I'm getting this guy. I'm bringing him
Oh,
over.
yeah, they're the best.
If you can combine those two, Popeyes food and Chick-fil-A's customer service, it's global domination because their food is way better than Chick-fil-A's, but Chick-fil-A is way more popular.
Debatable. It's different. It's different. It's completely different.
It is different, except they make a better chicken sandwich than Chick-fil-A, which is their
They
thing.
don't.
What's that?
but
What's the
that's
chicken place
okay.
you guys have down there in Texas that's delicious?
Lucy's
They got the
is really
fancy
good.
building. No, it's kind of like a chain-ish, but I don't think it's a national chain.
What, P. Terry's?
No,
isn't
that's a
chicken.
burger place.
Oh,
That's a
there's-
burger place. Come on, Christian. It's on like that main drag. Oh man.
Oh, Fly Right?
I can't. Yeah, that place is pretty
Oh,
delicious.
Fly Ride's really good. Yeah.
They go to Fly Right all the time. We have one real near the office.
Yeah,
This
I
is
I like
great
Fly
radio.
Right a
Let's
lot.
talk more about chicken. Chicken Radio Live. Listen, you're going to get some, with us three, you are going to get some food talk. It's going to happen. Ben loves ice cream. We love fast food. And we
I
stand
love
by it.
capitalism too.
We love
Love socialism.
capitalism. It's great. All great things. How did we get there? I don't know what
You
happened.
know what?
Triple
we started on the
ridiculous.
socialist
Triple
ice cream.
ridiculous got us to.
Hey, you know one thing that I don't think we've brought up since I've been on the show, but I would love to comment on because you guys used to talk about it. Emo's is the worst effing pizza ever.
Thank
I couldn't
you.
agree with you guys more. It's so gross. What the hell, St. Louis people?
What is wrong with them? What is wrong with?
What is wrong with them?
Listen,
Seriously.
I could go down the frozen food aisle and get 5 pizzas better than Emo's pizza. Just put them in my oven.
all
That'd be
of them.
better.
There
They're
isn't
all
one
better.
worse, Christian. They're all better.
It is worse than all pizza. It is unbelievable. There is one that will give them a run for their money around here. Bracky, I don't know if you've ever
Really?
had Gaddis
It's
pizza.
terrible. It's
Gaddis
awful.
pizza is the worst, and they're everywhere. They're like they're more prevalent than
real?
Domino's down here. It's the worst pizza. They don't know really how to make pizza here too well, but this stuff is it. And Emo's is the ultimate race to the bottom for pizza.
It's really bad.
It is. Yeah.
Emo's is popular in St. Louis. They're everywhere, and I don't get it. It blows my mind. It's so crappy. It's terrible pizza.
There's nothing good about it. Very devastating that people think that's good pizza. Okay, so triple
Yeah.
ridiculous. That was the Miles Martin David Taylor match. That's how we got there. That's how we got to capitalism and Emo's pizza. We're never more than one little word combo away from getting completely off the rails. But
People loved it in the chat though,
they're loving it. They're
Yeah.
digging.
Yeah.
but the majority of
Let's see.
people are on Team Chick-fil-A.
They
by the
can
way.
be. They can be. I don't think. Yeah, I just don't think it's close.
Wait. So I'm not actually a fried chicken person
Oh.
too much, but Chick-fil-A is just so delicious. They're so good. I've got nothing but good things to say about Chick-fil-A. Delicious food,
Amen.
and the customer service. To your point, they're so fast getting through that damn line. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're
you
good.
got to get the Chick-fil-A app too, Ben.
Oh boy.
Oh, I don't got that.
You get
Uh-oh.
all you do is
That'd
you
be
scan
bad.
it every time you go through. You get points. They give you free stuff all the time. It's great.
Nice.
Wow.
I mean, they
Chick-fil-A
should
Radio
probably
Live.
sponsor this. They should sponsor the show. I
should.
don't know why we don't have a sponsor. Chick-fil-A should be our sponsor, I think.
Amen.
Yeah, I think so too. And we don't have the show on Sundays, so it's good brand alignment.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Yes. Perfect.
Bracky often will come in the morning with like a giant Chick-fil-A bag and a cup.
They got good breakfast too. It's all good. It's all good there.
I heard they have breakfast. I've never had their breakfast. Maybe
It's
they
good.
can sponsor us by giving us breakfast every single morning we're on the show.
They got good chicken biscuits, and they got bowls with the chicken and the eggs in it. It's really good. Burrito. They have burrito. If that tickles.
They make the same chicken, and instead of putting it on a roll, they just put it in a biscuit and call it breakfast.
They got spicy one too.
Okay.
Listen, hey, someone said I'm turning my back on Missouri. So number one, emos is not a Missouri thing. It's very, very specifically a St. Louis thing. Okay, It's a St. Louis thing. St. Louis people are kind of strange. They got their things that they like. Emos being one of them. I don't get it. But not a Missouri thing. Number two, listen, if your team's messing up, you guys say the team's messing up. Otherwise, people don't trust you. They just think you're biased. And listen, St. Louis people, I love you, but you're blowing it with emos.
Yeah, you're blowing it. Okay. So here's the thing. We got to get back on Miles Martin somehow, some way. I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
I don't know how to organically get back there. But bottom line.
What do you think Miles Martin's favorite restaurant in Columbus, Ohio is?
I have no idea. I bet he eats
Chick-fil-A.
We should ask him.
I will ask
him.
him.
He does not. No.
He's an elite athlete. All right. So let's say Miles wins.
He's an elite athlete, but did you see his tummy at July 25th event? This man's been eating something. He's been eating something, Christian. I don't know what it is.
Well, I doubt he's probably not a full size. Well, I guess he's probably getting there for 86. He's probably trying to get full up for that weight class.
He was full up on July 25th.
All right. Hey, who do you think he wants to see coming out of the Nate Jackson Sammy Brooks match?
Christian,
that's a pretty obvious answer.
How about this? I'm an expert on physiques. I will give you the lowdown on people's physiques.
Okay.
Because I have the greatest physique wrestling's ever seen.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's see. If Miles were to beat Drew, I don't know who. You said it's obvious. I don't know. It's obvious.
Yeah,
Nate Jackson. He wants Nate Jackson. He's never beaten Sammy Brooks.
Why is it?
He's never beaten Sammy Brooks.
Oh, I forgot that one always when people tell me that, and I've heard it before. He has told me. Whenever people tell me that, I'm like, how in the hell is that possible?
Yeah. So really, there's a couple of different finalists you could definitely see out of the bottom side. If Brooks beats Jackson, then he's the favorite to make the. Really, is Brooks the favorite here? He's never.
He might be.
He's never lost to Jackson in freestyle. He's never lost to Miles Martin. Period. And then that's it. Now, if Drew Foster wins, that all bets are off, right? Because that means Drew Foster's really clicking on all cylinders, in my opinion, to beat someone as good as Miles.
What's Sammy Brooks' best finish at a U.S. Open or trials? Because I feel like when we talk about it, I feel like he's not finished at. He hasn't been in contention at all. Like Miles Martin was in contention when he blew it against what's the jabroni's name?
Downey.
Downey. When he blew it against him, I thought he was going to win that time for sure. And so I consider him like in that upper echelon of 86 kilogram guys. I don't feel like Sammy Brooks has ever been in that category. What's his highest finished?
All right, I'm looking up the Open. I thought he was going to win.
Open?
Or the Raleigh. I thought he was going to come through.
Hey, how about this? He was third in Vegas, 2019.
Oh, so he's been really high.
Who else was in that bracket?
So it went Downey, Heflin, Brooks, Farr, Jackson, Miles Martin, Kenny Courts, Max Dean.
Okay, so he outplaced him at the Open, and then at the trials in 19, Miles beat Nate Jackson 5-0, then lost to Nick Heflin 4-1, and then Heflin beat Brooks in the finals there.
So man, I'm way off because I don't know why I just didn't consider him upper echelon, but then he definitely is. So yeah, I think it would be fun to make betting odds, Christian, and maybe you guys can work on this for tomorrow's show or put someone in the office on it. Betting odds of the champion, right? So you have a whole list of it's going to be all minuses, right? Or I'm sorry, all pluses plus whatever to win, right? And you have a list of the best guy to the worst guy, and then to make the finals. Also, you have the same list, and obviously in that case it could be different, right? Because you could feel more positive that some guy's gonna make the finals, but then they're not gonna win it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely doing that, right?
I think so. Sammy was 5th senior nationals in Fort Worth. He lost to Aaron Brooks on the front side, and then Alex Dieringer in the Conti semis, and then he beat Aaron Brooks for 5th.
Oh, his match against Dieringer was really close too, right? It was competitive.
Buzzer beater.
Yeah,
for Miles.
that one.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wait, no, I'm talking about not Miles. I'm talking about Sammy Brooks and Alex Dieringer.
No, it was 10-0. 10-0 in 150.
Wow. It's not good. Wow.
Ringer's very good. How about Ringer had ACL surgery?
I saw. I didn't know they were gonna make that public. I got the connection through Tristan Moran that it happened, and I obviously I don't want to tell other people's business.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when did it happen? Because he wrestled Bo Nickel in September.
That was
right. So did he?
It was in practice. It was relatively recently.
Oh, okay. Dang.
So,
Sucks.
but yeah, I mean, to me, he said he wants to be back for the trials, but we're within 6 months right now. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, the girl I coach, Macy, she tore ACL January 18th, and she's still. I mean, she's trying to get cleared right now. Was it 9 months later?
Yeah, 10 really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy, right?
I don't know how that's gonna happen. Other than Alex Dieringer's a savage, and when he had COVID-19, he thought, I should just sauna and work out really hard and it'll get out of me. I just feel like that mentality is
perfect.
Gonna. Yeah, exactly. I feel like he's like, I don't know. If anyone can like just be really tough and figure it out and get some semblance of himself to trials, try it. I think he'll do it. You never tore your ACL, right?
Never. I got a policy against doing that kind of thing.
That's smart.
That's good policy. Yeah.
I instituted that as well. I don't know why Alex wouldn't have done that. So strange.
Michael Chieson, who's in our chat frequently, a very funny comment here, Christian. He said, "I tried emos when driving through St. Louis. The box was the best part. Firm yet tasty."
I'm dead serious. It is the worst pizza. It is so bad. I just don't get it. These poor people.
So funny.
They have good taste or toasted ravioli though, so you got that.
I mean, how do you mess up, deep frying pasta and dipping it in marinara sauce?
Yeah.
It's pretty tough to do. All right, we're back on pizza.
So you know what? Actually, so emo is in St. Louis. They get pizza wrong, but Christian, I think toasted ravioli is pretty tasty, and it's not really available outside of St. Louis. I don't know why that hasn't caught on other places because toasted ravioli is delicious.
I can get it in Parkersburg, West Virginia, dog.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it outside St. Louis.
There's an Italian restaurant, Da Vinci's.
Da Vinci's.
Wow. Okay.
It's too on the nose.
I guess I'm wrong.
Da Vinci's. Really, there's a Da Vinci family in Parkersburg. Am I to believe that?
Why? Just no Italians in West Virginia?
I don't think there's a Da Vinci. I'm just saying it. It's too on the nose.
All right. I don't know who
They're like,
it, but...
who's an Italian? Oh, Da Vinci. We'll go with that.
Oh, I hate it when they say Italian. My dad does that. It drives me up the wall.
I bet that's how they say it in Parkersburg. Italians.
It's not.
Have some Italian cuisine.
Oh, God. Why do they say it's mostly Iowa people that say it. My dad grew up in Iowa. What they say Italian. Why do they say that? That's definitely not how you say it.
I know. People do. I don't understand it. Hey, that's why Iowa tries to claim you, right? Because you were born in Iowa. You're basically
I lived there for 4 years, and I was born and lived in Cedar Rapids for the first 4 years of my existence. I don't have an address to tell you exactly where in Cedar Rapids I lived, but I did live there.
All right, your formative years that molded you as a wrestler in the shadow of Carver Hawkeye Arena.
We can't get away from the food talk.
No, we can't. All right, we're trying. We are doing our best, but you know what? We can't do. We're doing what we can. So that's I guess that's the bottom half. We can talk more about the top half maybe tomorrow if we want to do that.
Well, you want to go to questions? So we get some of those in, or what?
We have some because we have some good ones that I really want to get to, and I think the first one is going to take some time. because we got a question here. Askren officially loses the talent debate. Y'all didn't mention this on the show today. Cael Sanderson described Carter Starocki as talented. Does that mean Ben Askren loses the talent debate?
Most people use the word talented very like fluidly, meaning skilled as well. Mm-hmm. I've even been on the show and said it sometimes. And so, unless Cael very strictly defines that Carter Starocki came out of his mom's womb shooting double legs like that, I don't think Cael means talented in the innate sense. I think he means he's very skilled and has developed a great shot and other skills as he's gotten older as a wrestler. Because of his great work ethic, likely.
Yeah, I don't think you get to say you don't get to say what Cael Sanderson meant. I think he said talent because.
Well, I'm just saying people use the word talented very loosely, and he probably did not think that people were picking his words apart so closely. I've said the word talented also when I meant skilled, and I'm guessing that Cael meant the same thing. If he would allow me to interview him, which he has not done so nicely, then maybe I could ask him more deeply about this question.
Yeah. Do
you think Carter Starocki came out of his mom's womb shooting double legs?
That's such a strange possible. What a strange line to draw for you to win an argument. It's like
that's where talent would be innate. Innate means that when they come out, they have a predisposition to do those things really well. So, that's where we got to take it.
No, it's not necessarily rooted in skill. There's just certain physical things that people can do more innately, more naturally that would translate to wrestling, right? Some people have better body. I got a 2-year-old.
He ain't doing leg passes or nothing. He didn't come out the mom's womb doing.
Well, that's a product of his raising. He needs a better environment for learning scrambling techniques.
He does like headbutting things.
Really? Do you just tell him everything's Mayor Humdinger and then Ozzy just goes crazy because he's a bad guy?
He's in a truck phase right now. He loves trucks and construction vehicles. And, like most 2-year-olds, he doesn't know how to control his anger. So when he gets mad, he'll like headbutt you in the leg or he'll start hitting himself and giving this mean face like this. It's both hilarious. And then I know as a parent, I need to correct it also. So it's challenging.
Yeah, you do. You gotta. It's hard not to laugh, I'm sure.
Trent Hidley cracks himself a few times.
Winner, before the match, after a match, he just kind of punches his face.
Yeah.
How old is your daughter?
Hold on. All right, almost sneezed. Okay, she's 7. That was close. Fought off the sneeze.
No,
she's
not
7.
you, Christian. Kyle.
Oh, he has a son.
I have a son.
Your son. How old is he?
He's about to be 1 year in a few days.
Oh, so you don't know yet. Just wait. Give it another like 6 to 9 months. And he starts acting crazy. Then you know what I'm talking about. Maybe a little longer. Maybe till like 2 years old.
Okay.
I'm trying to think which of my. It's funny now that my kids are 9 and 7. I kind of forget like. Obviously they had temper tantrums, but I'm trying to remember like, did they ever like hit or like do something crazy? Now I don't even remember.
The aggression level between boys and girls is so crazy different. Like my oldest daughter is very type A, very like go, 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 go.
Yeah.
But the aggression and my second daughter is a little more passive. And they misbehaved when they were 2-year-olds, right? Or 3-year-olds. But the aggression level, it was not there in them. In the females, in my female children, was not there. My Ozzy, he's so freaking aggressive. It's hilarious. I mean, to see the difference between a boy and a girl, it's freaking wild.
Yeah. It's definitely a big difference. Although I don't think either of mine were particularly more or less aggressive. Caleb is very type A as well. I think it's an oldest kid thing.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What do you make of Cael? Let's just keep on the Cael topic. Going all in on social media lately. Is he 10 years late to the party, or are we all just 10 years early?
What does that mean? Has he been posting? I've seen him post a couple things, but
well, he's like he's back on Instagram. He's like made 3 posts on Instagram yesterday, in what's a very dormant.
He hasn't posted on Twitter in 9 days. That's not active.
Comparatively
it had
speaking,
been like years.
It's like years. Like if you look through his tweets, like doesn't send
Don't
many.
you remember he got back on Twitter because he was mad because I called the one move the Sanderson steal, and he was really pissed about it.
Well, you accused him of stealing your move.
And it was so funny, you know? Yeah, it was hilarious.
But yeah, like yesterday.
So which one's him? Is it Sanderson Cael or is it Cael Sanderson?
Sanderson Cael.
So
or are they both him? He just forgot his login for this one.
It could be anything.
He forgot his login for that one. That looks relatively official.
He made a post of him and Mark Hall January of 2018. And then yesterday he made 1, 2, 3, 4 posts in one day. So like he hadn't done anything since January of 18, and then he kind of, I don't know. He got back.
Cael should literally just give his login to the SID or someone who runs stuff, and then just say, "Hey, post a whole bunch. Here you go. You know, here's what I want. Post a bunch of Penn State wrestling or something to that motivational stuff, whatever." Right?
Yeah. My favorite one is his first one, which is a picture of Bo and Jinzo with their headgear on. Send that to Tyler because it's just pretty funny. Picture.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious!
How loose?
How long? That's got to be his freshman year, right?
I think it was in 2017. We'll pull it up.
2017 December.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So, but it could be an old picture, even though he posted December 2017, because they look so young there.
Yeah. This would have been Bo's junior year, though, right?
I feel like they're younger than that in that picture. Yeah, bring it up so everyone else can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other Cael Sanderson account kind of looks like it's Cael, so it appears to be him fly fishing in 2012 or someone fly fishing. And then there's a bunch of Penn State stuff.
Yeah, who's that fly fishing?
It doesn't look like Cael. I don't know who it is.
No, it doesn't look like Cael. Could be anyone.
All right, dude. I don't think that's Bo's junior year. He looks so young in that picture.
December of 20. Oh yeah, he could have maybe just had that picture for a long time. I just love how loose the headgear is.
Hilarious.
It's very funny. Okay. Next question. We already talked about high school seasons being canceled. Kurt Arnoldson. I feel like I always want to say Arnoldson, but it's Arnoldson. If someone's new at wrestling, what are the top 3 funniest clips to watch? Well, I think we know one.
Oh, we got an idea.
Here we go. Oh, no. Right into the wall. Oh, my gosh. Daggone it.
Wow.
Daggone it, Dom Bradley. Every time I feel like Dom, just put on the brakes. And then, no, he doesn't. He just runs them right through the thing. We need the drywall. We need to get the drywall match going. That'll be all time.
Yes. That would be outstanding.
Elbert Wrestling. Can Georgia now be considered a, quote, wrestling state?
Oh, they're getting close. They're good.
It's definitely been emerging the last, I don't know, 10-ish years or so.
Yeah.
Slow, I don't want to say slow because it's been fast, but, you know, the climbing the rungs, you know, one thing at a time and having, 6 semifinalists, 5 finalists at Super 32, several champions.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. It's also not surprising. I mean, the thing is, this could happen anywhere, right? It's just a matter of coaching and leadership, in my opinion. That's all. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's what holds Texas back. We have way more wrestlers. We just don't have good coaches here. Not many.
Are you sure? There's more wrestlers in Texas than Georgia for sure.
I would bet that's true.
I feel like there's no wrestlers from Texas. Like I don't see them anywhere.
All right, well, Bracky can look it up. Maybe there's not more than Georgia, but there are a lot. It's one of the most participated in sports, especially if you look at it's one of the most participated in states.
Texas, well, just because it's the big. How many million people live in Texas? A crap ton, right?
Crap ton.
Yeah. The Texas population as of 2020 was 29.9 million.
Oh man, that's very large.
Yeah, quite
Georgia.
So yeah, we need to find wrestling state participation numbers, but
Georgia's like 11 million.
Bracky filed a Freedom of Information Act and is looking through the records.
All right,
get Alex Jones
7,943.
Oh, Texas is
high school
with 10,998.
Yeah,
yes, high school.
So
High
3,000
school
more.
athletes. Wow. So if you asked me that question, I would tell you guys. And now listen, I don't come down your direction, but Georgia's also not in the Midwest. I'm
True.
talking Super 32. I'm talking preseason nationals in Iowa, Fargo. Like, I feel like there's no one wrestles from Texas. That's what I feel like. Like, I don't see them anywhere.
That's because they basically don't. There's very few that travel. There's very few that enter that upper echelon, right? Obviously, the Ferraris, Bo Nickel were from here, Tervel, Brandon Slay, Scholardzic's from Austin. He wrestles at UNI, but in general, there's not many. There's a kid from Vandegrift who. How did he do a Super 32? Do you know, Bracky?
No,
I can't remember.
Kochberg, but I don't know how he did.
But yeah, it's just not. There's not a lot of good programs here. That's what's going to get you to the next level. You can have a really dedicated kid, but if he's not in an environment where he's like taught the sport the right way, they're not going to get to the next level.
Texas actually has the third most.
Yeah,
behind California and Illinois.
Third most participation of any state yet.
Of high school age level. Wow.
Yes. Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, I would not have realized that. I mean, obviously, I know population-wise they're really big. So they're like 3x Georgia population-wise, and they're 40% bigger as a state participation. But yeah, still way more than I would have guessed.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Georgia's a wrestling state. It cannot be overlooked. Next question. When discussing heavy Chevys, which is probably my favorite term that I've learned since doing the show with Ben, last episode, you forgot about the giant Adam Kuhn. He looked as good as any heavy in the last decade to me. Should he be in this discussion of the greats? He's definitely one of the greatest to never win it, for sure. And yesterday when we were discussing this, we were just discussing champions, which Adam twice fell in the finals. But yeah, I mean, he was obviously... And yet, he's not the prototypical for me because he was so athletic and he had such an upper body element to his wrestling and wasn't in a lot of, maybe he was more than I realized, but he wasn't in a lot of one-score matches, right? He wasn't trying to win the way that a Tony Nelson was trying to win a match or a Dustin Fox for a throwback, right? He was trying to score. He was trying to score when guys, he would give up points. He didn't have like this rock solid head hands and no one ever got in. It's like guys would get in on his legs and pick him up and sky him and he would get in on them. And he's kind of an outlier in a lot of ways, right? The way he wrestled.
I feel like that's kind of what I was saying yesterday with, big guys. Like, big guys are going to be successful, but they are going to have to do some things differently, right? They're never going to be able to wrestle like they did in 2000, but that can go for any weight class. I mean, someone trying to wrestle like they did 20 years ago just isn't going to work in modern day wrestling. It moves so much faster. It's so much different. There's just a plethora of new techniques. So yeah, I think the big man can still be successful. They're just going to have to evolve a little bit.
Yes, for sure. This is a question I think only Bracky can answer, but new Borat, Akia or Niche, which that's from Bruno bit.
Right.
I saw the trailer and I was like, no, this is not gonna be as good, and I just didn't watch it.
It's okay. I didn't like. There were parts I laughed hard at, but like overall, it's nowhere near the first one.
I got tricked into watching. Have you seen it, Ben?
I have not. I want to. I'm a big Borat fan, so I need to watch it.
Yes. One of the funniest parts in Borat is when he goes to Salem, Virginia, in the Salem Civic Center for the rodeo, which is where we have the state wrestling tournament.
Oh, yeah.
It's where we have states, and it was really funny. And that's a really funny part.
Yeah, it was outstanding.
Yeah, it's perfect. I forgot what I got tricked. I like to warn people from watching terrible movies.
You do.
And I got tricked into watching Eurovision on Netflix. It is so terrible. It's a Will Ferrell comedy. It's so bad. Don't watch it. It's like new. I don't even know when it came out.
Really?
But it was on Netflix.
I haven't heard of it.
If anyone is on our Facebook chat or on the app chat saw it, they will know it is not funny. It's not a funny movie. It's just like they just got a staff or like a good cast with Will Ferrell, and they're like, that'll make us money, but it's actually really terrible. I forget.
Never seen it.
Yeah. Anyway, next question, if there are any more next questions. No, I think we did it.
Also, remember the Oklahoma State question we got yesterday?
Yes.
About the football team, because they're ranked 6th in the country right now.
Ooh.
Whoa.
But they, just as I thought, they'd been that high. They were ranked 6th in 2017 at one point.
And they were great. Oklahoma State was awesome in 2017.
Mm-hmm. And then in 2015, they were as high as 4. Football team was. So it's been the past, 2017, 2015, I would say.
All right. Yeah, Gundy's got it going. Do you have any football takes before we get out of here, Racky?
I don't watch any dang football.
No, it's good to have the Big Ten back. Saturdays do feel more full, and now and the Mountain West is back, so you get those West Coast late night games on Saturday night too. And next week we have the Pac-12 back, so Pac-12 after dark.
Hey, before we go, I just got a DM from one DJ Hamidi.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Good morning."
Uh-oh.
Very cordial. Any possibility of lining up a match between Gallagher and Hamidi on a future Flow card?
Yeah.
I definitely believe it will be an exciting match. People will be excited to see. Well, let me say publicly, I completely agree.
His schedule just got cleared because Illinois canceled high school wrestling. So
Yeah.
You could do him whenever.
Maybe December.
I was about to say December 8-man.
8-man.
That'd be a nice match in between the 8-man bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ohio have high school wrestling or no?
I believe they're going full steam ahead because they're playing football and everything right now.
But they're not doing the Ironman, which is in Ohio.
Yeah, I think that's
Right?
just because you're bringing a lot of teams from around the country,
Yeah.
and the school probably doesn't want to have that, which I don't blame them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So we'll see what we can do, Dean. Patty's a savage. He'd probably be down. We'll see what we can do. Good idea. Good. Thanks for the message. If you're not watching FRL, I'll hit you up back on Twitter. But that's it. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more about the 8-man.
Make our picks.
Make our picks, our official predictions. We could do a push-up wager again. Racky won Who's Number One, as I recall.
I did.
Went beast mode. So we'll be back. Thank you guys so much. Happy Wednesday. Got some more content coming out for the 8-man. Check it out. Oh, updated high school rankings up on the homepage right now.
3 new number ones.
3 new number ones. Tons of Super 32 related movement. Check those out. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.